Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 11.
Breaking news in Lexington. Police say a man was tied up during a home invasion.
Just a dangerous place for firefighters to fight fire.
A large fire destroys a Nicholasville apartment building, and firefighters say they face some unusual challenges.
An acting superintendent has been named for Fayette County Schools, and she's had the job once before.
And a former UK football player talks about a frightening fall during a game at Commonwealth Stadium. WKYT News at 11 starts now. Good evening to you. We begin tonight with a breaking news alert that we're tracking in Lexington. Police need your help finding those responsible for a home invasion.
They say the victim tonight was tied up but somehow managed to call for help. This all happened a few hours ago on Squires Woods Way. That's not far from Richmond Road. Garrett Weimer has the breaking details.
Lexington police tell us there's still a lot they don't know at this point, but that's what they're trying to find out, talking to the victim in this case. Police say they got a call a little after 9 o'clock from here on Squires Woods Way, but couldn't understand what the caller was saying. When they got here, they found a man in his 20s tied up to some furniture with his hands tied and his mouth covered. Somehow he managed to get to a phone and call 911. Police tell us the man was not hurt, and they're not sure if anything was taken. They say the man told them he came home and someone inside grabbed him and tied him up.
It is troubling because it's not the norm for anything in Lexington, so we take it very seriously, and that's why we're taking our time and doing a very thorough investigation, and certainly trying to give him time to regain his composure and work through it with us.
Police say they don't have any sort of suspect description yet, but they do say they're looking for possibly 2 people. If you know anything about what happened, you're asked to call Lexington Police. In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Another developing story tonight. Investigators think a fire that destroyed a Central Kentucky apartment building is suspicious, and firefighters say they had to rescue a pregnant woman from her home.
That fire started just before 6 tonight near the intersection of First and Walnut Streets in downtown Nicholasville. WKYT's Jordan Valines is tracking the investigation. She is our top story at 11.
Crews were out here on the scene for several hours Thursday night fighting a fire at the corner of First and Walnut Street. They say that this fire in particular was extremely dangerous and difficult because of how old the building is. We're told that it was built more than 200 years ago. Over the years, this log cabin in downtown Nicholasville has expanded in size along with the city that surrounds it. But unfortunately, on this cold December night, this piece of the city's history,
Wood is extremely old and burns very quickly.
Went up in flames.
The rest of the structure has been added on throughout the years. It's cut up and is just a dangerous place for firefighters to fight fire.
Firefighters say they rescued a pregnant woman out of the front room on the first floor. They say it was engulfed in flames by the time crews arrived, which immediately raised suspicion over why the fire spread so quickly.
We have a station that's probably about a minute and a half down the road from this building, and your typical fire is not going to be in that kind of shape.
The woman was conscious when she was taken to the hospital, and her injuries are unknown. Firefighters didn't find anyone else in the multi-unit complex at the time of the fire, but they will be doing another search through the structure soon.
It's not possible to look at everything right now because we have to make the building safe before we can actually get in there.
Crews do plan to return to the scene on a Friday in order to continue their investigation. In Nicholasville, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
The battalion chief says the same building caught fire 25 years ago and had heavy damage then.
It is a busy night. Tonight, the Fayette County Board of Education named an acting school superintendent for Fayette County Schools, and it will be the second time she has had this job. The board unanimously chose Dr. Marlene Helm as acting superintendent. She'll take over for Dr. Tom Shelton when he steps down at the end of this month. Dr. Helm was acting superintendent for 3 months back in '04 before Stu Silberman was hired. She says she knows the job will be tough with the school district dealing with a state audit, redistricting, and a school board that's been divided at times.
We have to work together as a team. We can't pull apart because the ultimate goal is doing what's in the best interest of students. And I have their commitment that they're going to work with me, and they certainly have my commitment that I'm going to do everything in my power to work as a team member with them.
Helm's contract allows her to work up to 12 days this month in order to overlap with Dr. Shelton. Her contract extends through June 30th since the school board hopes to have a permanent school superintendent named by July 1st. Helm will earn about $1,000 a day, slightly less than Shelton's rate.
Tonight we are tracking more rain moving toward the bluegrass, and it could be heavy at times over the next few days. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what is on the first alert defender right now. Chris?
Hey, Amber. Yeah, the fact that it's going to rain again certainly isn't the big story. The big story is the fact that it's going to be so heavy as we go into our Friday and Saturday. Could be talking about a couple of inches in many areas. Live first alert defender to start out our weekend, and not a whole lot that is going on across the western part of the area. Still some gusty showers into parts of central and northeastern Kentucky on Live First Alert Defender. That's a part of the state that has picked up everything from a little sleet and freezing rain to the rain that we're seeing out there now. And mainly it's a cold rain since early this afternoon. We look towards southern Kentucky. A couple of little wayward showers beginning to pop across Clinton and Cumberland counties. Back to the west and southwest, though, that is the low pressure that is going to track right on top of the area as we go into our Friday night and Saturday. Out ahead of that, a lot of juice coming from the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to allow heavy rain to develop for the next 48 hours roughly. And a lot of that is coming up and over some colder air that is in place. But temperatures across the Tennessee Valley are beginning to rise. Our numbers are going up. We're at 40 for the first time in Lexington today. 51 in Knoxville. The warmer air to the south is actually going to build in here as we go through the overnight. So the focus of the forecast when I come back in about 10 minutes on the heavy rain and the big temperature swings.
We will see you then, Chris. Thank you. Tonight, Lexington firefighters are still trying to figure out what caused a house fire that injured 3 firefighters.
The fire began about 1:30 this afternoon on Delmont Drive near Versailles Road. At one point, firefighters dealt with a flashover which caused the home to be engulfed again. Investigators say that 3 firefighters suffered first-degree burns in the flashover, but were told those injuries were minor. The homeowner says the house is a total loss.
It's crazy because, you always hear about it, but until it happens, everything in there is lost. Between the smoke and the water, there's not anything left.
And none of the people who lived in this house were injured.
A former UK football player spoke publicly today for the first time since being injured in a fall at Commonwealth Stadium. Brad Durham fell 35 feet from the stadium's upper deck during the South Carolina game in October. Durham says he doesn't remember much about the fall itself. It knocked him out. He says he was in a coma for nearly 2 weeks. After being released from UK hospital, he spent time at Cardinal Hill Rehabilitation Hospital. Durham says he's come a long way in his recovery, and he says the fall has changed his life.
I was basically on my deathbed, yes, and that's something I'm never going to forget.
Durham says he still goes to hand and physical therapy 3 times each week, but he is back to working full-time in Lexington. He also says the support of the Big Blue Nation has helped him the last few months.
We have some new information tonight in the case of a woman now in prison for stealing her late father's benefits. Police in Texas now say a body found under the floorboards of Judith Broughton's home was her mother, Mary. But investigators say they do not suspect foul play in the death. Mary Broughton was reported missing months ago. Police say that Judith Broughton's father died in 1990, but his remains were found in a Lexington storage unit last January. They say Broughton leased the storage unit. She later pled guilty to stealing her father's Social Security benefits. A judge sentenced her to 10 years in prison. Police also say that Broughton shared an account with her mother.
Tonight, the Urban County Council gave its approval to promoting Lexington Police Chief Ronnie Baston. The council unanimously confirmed him as the city's next Commissioner of Public Safety. Mayor Gray announced the promotion Tuesday. During tonight's meeting, Baston said the city already has a grant to buy some police body cameras, and police are starting the process of buying them.
Big issue that we'll have to discuss later is the storage of the video that's taken, the security of that and what you do with it. It's going to be significantly more expensive than the purchase of the cameras, and it's going to be a recurring cost.
Baston is taking over for Clay Mason, who is leaving for a job with a private consulting company. The city has formed a search committee to find a new police chief. Those Christmas parades planned around the state have been postponed or even canceled. Danville canceled its parade tomorrow, but will still have a tree lighting ceremony. Mount Sterling, Moorhead, Richmond, and London have postponed their Christmas parades, and we have more information for you. Just check WKYT.com. Once again tonight, protesters took to the streets of New York and other cities. They're angry a grand jury cleared a white police officer in the apparent chokehold death of an unarmed black man.
Protesters say it's the latest example of an imbalance in the justice system. Marley Hall has the latest from New York.
Thousands of demonstrators filled the streets of Manhattan for a second night of protests. They're upset with a grand jury's decision not to charge New York City police officer Daniel Pantaleo for the apparent chokehold death of Eric Garner.
Eric Garner, Mike Brown!
Alexis Francisco is also protesting last month's decision by a Missouri grand jury not to charge former Ferguson officer Darren Wilson for the shooting death of Michael Brown.
I'm sick and tired of seeing black men around this country getting killed by police and there being no accountability, no repercussions. You want to choke me out too?
Some taunted the responding but reserved police. This officer even supplied traffic cones to alert drivers to a protester standing in the middle of the street. The demonstrators were not bound by skin color or geography. Protesters clogged the Brooklyn Bridge, stormed the Kennedy Expressway in Chicago, shut down Interstate 35 in Minneapolis, and marched through Boston Common.
The protesters say they're not buying Officer Pantaleo's statement that he didn't mean to harm Garner. He's still facing an internal NYPD investigation.
And then he could get fired. And remember, we're talking about a police officer that lives in the city, does what he was trained to do, literally an Eagle Scout.
Protesters say they'll keep shining a light on what they call injustice.
This is how America gets things done. It's by our people working together to achieve what they want.
Marley Hall, CBS News, New York.
New York's police commissioner says all officers will receive new training on safe takedown holds.
A former UK football walk-on has been charged in connection to a string of robberies in Florida, and police say he could face similar charges in Kentucky. Police in the Tampa area say 22-year-old Chad Merida robbed a bank and several stores, and police say he could also be behind robberies at a GameStop and a Dollar General in Laurel County. Those robberies happened months ago. In high school, Merida was considered one of the top running backs at Knox Central. He's now in a Hillsborough County, Florida jail.
Tonight, a Letcher County family needs your help bringing a missing child home. Lily Mae Adams says that her 8-year-old grandson Nicholas is with his father, Floyd Sexton Jr., but a judge awarded her custody of the boy this week. Now, police say they're concerned about the boy's safety because Sexton is wanted for the murder of a Floyd County man. Adams says her entire family is worried about little Nicholas.
It feels like death or something because we've been trying to find my grandson for a long time, and we've not been able to find him.
Adams says she's also worried that she does not know what condition her grandson is in. Police have said, or haven't said rather, that if they have any leads on his whereabouts.
A new Kroger store will open soon in Lexington, and it's also creating dozens of new jobs. Kroger plans to hire about 100 people for new part-time jobs for the Euclid Avenue store. It's scheduled to open in about a month. Kroger leaders say the store will have some unique features, including rooftop parking. If you are interested in one of the new jobs, Kroger will have a job fair this Saturday from 11 until 4. It's at the Beaumont Kroger Marketplace. We have more information for you on WKYT.com.